You are listening to The Real Estate Ride. Make sure to subscribe and enjoy the show.
Hey everyone, welcome back to The Real Estate Ride. Today's episode is a little different. We're actually sharing a conversation where Annie and I were guests on the REI Deal Finders podcast, hosted by Andrew Lucas. It was a great opportunity to share our story, from buying our first rental over 20 years ago to building a diverse real estate business with 50 plus rental units, short-term rentals, and a full in-house construction team. We also dive into the creative financing strategies that helped us get started when the bank said no, including the library hack that changed everything. Whether you're just starting out or looking to scale, there are plenty of actionable takeaways in this one. Let's jump into the conversation.
All right, we're here with Jay and Annie Atkins, so let's jump into the podcast. Y'all, this is Deal Finders, and we're going to talk about how they found some deals and how they're doing that today. So, Jay and Annie, real quick, tell us where you're from and what you're doing and how you got started into real estate, and let's just see where that takes us.
All right, sounds good. I'll sync this because Jay tends to talk all the time, so I'll get my lies in.
Get your time in while you can, right?
Exactly. We are Jay and Annie Atkins. We are in Central Ohio, but we also invest in Southwest Florida, and that's where we plan on being full-time eventually, we think. But that may change.
And South Carolina.
Yeah.
All right, as well.
And we started in real estate 20 plus years ago when we actually first rented out our personal house because we needed a bigger house because we have 4 children. So, and that just kind of, Jay was bitten by the real estate bug with that first check that we got.
Yes, I had no intentions of being a real estate investor.
Yeah. It's funny how that happens, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But we were cash flowing $350 a month and getting our mortgage paid. So he was ready to do some more. And I was kind of leery because, real estate was this big, scary monster as far as we were concerned before we got started. And come to find out it's not so scary and not so difficult as long as you know what you're doing. But
Yeah, so we got started with a rental, and as soon as I got that first rent check, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Not only are we paying our mortgage off, but we're making monthly cash flow.
Yep.
Which was huge.
And who was paying that mortgage off?
the renter, yes, definitely.
The renter.
So yeah, again, it was a big and scary concept at first, but once you get your feet wet, it's a little more relaxed, and then you get some people that you can surround yourself with that know what they're doing and learn all you can from them, and then it's not so big and scary after all.
Right. And that's, and that's, you kind of hit on that. That's exactly what these podcasts are. And that's the mastermind that we're a part of, that, the group that we are learning from each other. And that's one of the biggest things that we try to encourage folks on the podcast is get into a community so you can learn and you can ask questions. And this big scary thing that's real estate, that's this massive operation and industry, it can be localized and become real tiny and real small. And you start with $350 a month, and then you get the bug, right?
Yeah.
So how long were y'all living in that house before you decided to move out and rent it?
About 3 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
about 3 years. We moved in when our oldest was about 6 months old, and then our son was born 2 years after that, and then we had a daughter that was born 2 years after that, and it was a 3-bedroom house. So I was like, Jay, we need to do something different here.
Yeah.
So we can't stay here forever. We had plans to, we didn't really have plans to have another one, but we ended up having another one after all.
So
There were 4.
We knew it was crowded already, so.
Right, it's 3, so we needed to do a little bit of something different, and
Yeah, we just wanted each of our kids to have their own bedroom.
Yeah.
That was
that was the
that was our main goal.
first.
Yeah, and that got you out. And so was the decision to rent the house that you're moving from, or was it a forced decision? You had to rent it because you couldn't sell it?
No, actually, shockingly enough, it was the house that I grew up in.
Okay.
And Annie and I looked for a house for over 6 months. Our poor real estate agent showed us over 60 houses. And I'm like, no, not that. No, not that. Not that. And then I saw, oh my gosh, the house that I grew up in came up for sale.
Wow.
And so we contacted her right away and said, we need to get in there right away. We want to take a look. And not much had changed.
It was kind of like a time warp when we walked through the front door. It was kind of crazy, but
The only thing that changed is they buried the in-ground pool, which was upsetting to me.
But you knew where it was.
I knew where it was, but they smashed it up. It didn't do any good, unfortunately.
Yep.
But I was working a Scotch and cigar bartender slash bar manager job there locally. So that was my last W-2 job.
Okay.
Was as a bartender.
yes.
And so
And I was working as a not a local chain, a national chain for a video store as a general manager. So that was my last W-2 job.
So like a video store, like a Blockbuster?
Family video.
oh wow, similar setup.
Man, I feel like we're going way back in time now.
This is way back.
Yeah. So you moved out of that house that you were living in, and you never tried to sell it. You decided it was going to be a rental.
Yeah, to keep it.
Yeah, he really would like to have kept it long term because it was the house that he grew up in. And, you know, we started dating when he lived there. So it was the house that we were familiar with. And
Yeah,
again, everything was very similar. So as soon as we bought that house, I ripped all the wallpaper down and redid some stuff. So it wasn't as time hoppy back in time. But so we did some updates and thought, why not keep it? And we actually rented it out to just a local person here. And then it actually turned into a family rental for a while. So we rented it out to his sister and her husband and his cousin and her husband. And so it stayed in the family for quite some time, one way or the other.
That's funny how that happens, isn't it? So what got you thinking, or did you even know anything about renting a house out back then?
Basically, we marketed it, and at that time it was just a newspaper ad. Like, this is 2003, so the internet, you know, there weren't any smartphones or anything like that yet. And so, you know, we did a sign in the yard and a newspaper ad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we got applicants. And basically, if they said, I have a job and I make money, I was like, oh, really? You have money? Yeah. Move in.
You think you can pay this? Fine, sure, why not?
Exactly. Not what we suggest, not by any stretch.
So would you say is it fair to say you probably made a few mistakes on that first go round?
Yes, for sure.
Most definitely.
Yes, because like Jay said, anybody that had money was a qualified applicant.
Yeah, sure. Move on in.
And that can definitely bite you in the butt sometimes.
Yeah. So I asked that question because I know I made a ton of mistakes in my first property. A few years after you, actually, that was 5 years after you, I bought my first house that was going to be to live in, rented rooms out with my roommates, and we were so wise to real estate investing that we actually tore down a wall, eliminated a bedroom so that there was more playroom. There's a bigger space for a ping pong table, right? And
Of course.
and that's just a smart investment strategy, right? To get rid of bedrooms for college rentals. But yeah, we made all the mistakes in the world. We overpaid, fixed some things, broke some things, all this stuff. But we got a house, right? And so you guys made mistakes, but you had a property and it cash flowed. Mine was paying the bills. I was living for free, or close to it. Actually, I think it was for free with the roommates pay out. And then when I moved out, there was tenants in it, right? And there was cash flow at the end of the day. So I asked that question because people nowadays are so afraid of making a mistake that they never actually take action. They never move. They never do that. They never make an offer or rent the house out. They say, oh, that's going to be too much trouble. I'll probably lose everything. The tenants will destroy it. So let's just sell it and get a new house, right? And so they never move towards being an investor because they're afraid of mistakes. And y'all started 2002, 2003. There were not podcasts and YouTube channels for you to learn from. And there were some communities, but it wasn't like it is today. We have a local community and Deal Finders Club, which is more national, community. But there's so many communities that you can join and be a part of and ask questions and meet people like y'all that can help you along the way. So I just encourage people out there. It's okay to make a mistake, but don't,
Right.
just don't try to go at it alone these days. Use the communities that are near you. So you went from that property to you got the bug. What was next? What was the next investment property?
So we bought a house for ourselves. Luckily, we qualified because we both had W-2 jobs, and we kept our debts low. We were able to qualify to buy the second house. That's why we were able to keep the first one. Okay. So that was a property on a golf course. It was beautiful, nice big house. And so we moved in there, and I was like, okay, I want to buy another house. Like we got moved in, we're making rent. Let's go buy another one. Yeah. What? So I went to the bank, right? And I went to the bank, and they're like, no, you're not buying another house.
You can want another house all you want, but we're not providing your financing for that.
I'm like, well, why not? Like, my credit's good.
Yeah, why not?
Well, you don't make enough money, and you don't have enough reserves, and you've only had this rental less than a year, so you're not you haven't cash flowed for a year. So we're not going to count that as income yet. That's a local bank underwriting guideline.
Yeah, sure.
So we thought we were shut down, and then I went to the library in the real estate section, and I discovered
Again, the internet didn't really exist at this point.
Yeah, the library was the internet.
I am so impressed right now, guys. I want to stop him right there. He just dropped bombs on you. The information's in the library, and library cards are free. So go check out a book. You reading Rainbow. It's in a book. Come on.
Exactly.
And so one of the books that I picked up was Robert Allen's No Money Down in the 2000s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And incredible information. And that's where I learned that you could buy houses without your credit and without cash and without bank statements and tax returns. And, you could do a deal where you negotiated directly with the homeowner. So that's a creative deal where you say, okay, I want to buy your home. And I learned things to ask from Robert Allen's book. And then I found a second book. I apologize, I can't remember the name, but it was written by an attorney, and it was about lease options.
Okay.
And it had a disc in it. I'm going to have to try to figure out what that title is. But it had a disc in it, Andrew, with all the forms.
Oh, no.
All option forms.
Oh, it's amazing. Man, I was armed and dangerous now.
Giddy.
Had a CD. You guys, okay, so a CD contained information on it.
I mean, you guys aren't that old for us to be going back in time like this. You got floppy disks and video stores.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah. So there were not really laptops then. So I had a desktop, and I ripped that disc onto my desktop with all the forms. And now I'm armed and dangerous. I have application forms, lease forms, option forms. And
Just enough information.
Oh, yeah. Just to be dangerous.
To go at it.
So, yeah. So now you got a license, to go shopping again, right? The bank told you no. And you are entrepreneurial enough to say, well, I know that's not the end, which most people, would say, okay, the bank told me no. Well, I need to wait and see when I can save enough money, or that's all I can do, right? Banks are it. But you had the no, whatever the word I'm looking for, you had the gall to go out there and say, you know what, that's not it. I know it's not it. What does the library say? And I know that the Gen Xers or Gen Zers, all the millennials listening right now are like, wait, you thought to go to the library? Guys, this is different times. Library is where the info was. Yes, now you can Google or chat GPT it, and you'll get the answers.
Whatever you want to do now.
Well,
but yeah.
But the premise is the same, where you were told no, there was an obstacle in the way, a speed bump, a hill that you had to get over, and you went over it. You didn't just stop and say, well,
Right.
I'll come back another day. No, you said, okay, well, let's see how we get over this hump, get around this hump, and find another solution. So I commend you for that. And y'all, if you're listening to this, you can watch the podcast, because I'm over here taking notes. I'm jotting down all these notes. And you actually see my pretty decorations too, now that I mention it. For my birthday. Today's my birthday. We're recording, Andrew. Thank you. And I've got some banners behind me and sparkles. But if you're watching or listening to this, I encourage y'all to take some notes and listen to the nuggets. And the premise of exactly what Jay's telling us is that it doesn't matter where you get the information, library or chat GPT. There was an obstacle, and you tried to find a way around it by using the resources available. So I love that. And that gave you the option to go shopping. So where'd you shop? How'd you find the
We actually had an acquaintance. I was going to say a friend, but at that point he was not a friend. He just was somebody that we knew from high school that went into a mentorship program with a local agent that had been around for decades and decades prior to us.
Yeah.
And he had obtained numerous rental properties in his own portfolio.
Yeah.
And so Jay reached out to him and said, hey, do you have any that, you might be willing to sell on a lease option or on a land contract? Or so we obtained like 3 or 4 from him, I think.
We got 3 from him.
Wow.
And here's nuggets for you. You may not know someone like I did, but I didn't know he owned those houses initially. I started networking with people that I know, saying, I'm looking for more houses to buy. Do you know of any that, for me, I was handy, so I was looking to solve someone's problem.
Yep.
So do you have any problem properties that you would be interested in getting rid of, and can I rent it for a while before I buy it?
Yeah.
That's simple. I still use that same phrase 20 years later.
Oh.
Can I rent your house for a while before I buy it?
Yes, I was going to, yes, that is a huge nugget right there, is the language that you just used. It's, so when you get in real estate investing, we get all this jargon, we get these terms, we know lease option, like I know what that means. And we really should break that down for the listeners. What it means is there's a lease, which is a tenant situation.
Yeah.
With an option to purchase later on at an agreed price. So what you're essentially saying is, like, we know the terms, you and I, but you broke it down so that normal people would understand, hey, I want to buy it, but can I rent it for a little while before I buy it? Genius. I love the way you broke that down. I don't think I've heard that said that way before. And so that kind of brings the words and the situation kind of where everyone understands. If you talk over people's heads, they're going to say no. Confused mind says no.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
Yes.
And one more nugget I got to break down. I got to share with the deal finders out there that you said your first real investment deal that you went out and found was from a friend, an acquaintance, networking. You were asking people, telling them what you're looking for, letting them know you're there as a buyer. And lo and behold, someone that you did not know owned properties said, yeah, let's talk. I got something. Let's get there. So that is exactly this is what we call this podcast Deal Finders, because the first few deals that the people we interview, the people we've coached and taught how to do this, the first few deals seem to always come from exactly what you said. It's somebody you knew or but you didn't know that they had properties, or somebody in your family knows somebody that needs to get rid of something. And now that you are buying, they think of you and they connect the dots, right? Or it's across the street. My first property I found driving around, it was on the MLS. I really was looking for somewhere to live. But then the next one was across the street because the grass had gotten tall and we found the owner. So
Right.
that is so huge. And it's because there's so much Facebook and YouTube and podcasts like this where we talk about, sending postcards and cold calling and all this stuff, that the new investors, the new wholesalers, the new buyers and deal finders forget about the basics. Just
Right.
get the word out that you are looking for a property. So I love that.
And even still today, that's like our main way of getting properties. We post on Facebook. I mean, we do utilize Facebook and Instagram and all of that now that they're available, but we still put, hey, looking to buy a house. Do you know anybody? You know what I mean? Very simple, very to the point. We don't spend a lot of marketing dollars on anything.
Yeah, look, I mean, like that's it right there. You don't spend any marketing dollars on that. That's still 30% of our business is referral and networking. And it costs, $0 in marketing.
Right.
And like you said, that those are usually the deals that are the people that you're working with are more forgiving. So that's why when it's that's your first deal, your second deal, third deal, whatever that is, and you don't know everything, and you're kind of asking for a little bit of, hey, can you be patient with me? I don't know exactly what I'm doing. Those are the people that are happy to help, right? They're like, yeah, sure, figure it out, whatever, it's fine. So I love that. I love that we talked about that. So we're going to run short on time, but I want to talk about where y'all are today. This was what we just talked about was 20 years ago, right? So you've been doing the business a long time. Jay and Annie, that's one of the things that I can't remember who said it, but it's basically the idea is if you can stay in real estate long enough, you're going to succeed because you got tenants paying down your debts and you got appreciation helping you along the way and tax benefits. If you can just hang out here long enough, you're going to succeed. So tell us where you are today.
So today, we have over 50 rental units.
Nice.
And we have ventured into multifamily over the last couple years.
In short-term rentals.
Commercial. Yep. And doing short-term rentals in a few areas.
Okay.
Like the Airbnb style.
Yeah.
If you aren't familiar with short-term rental term.
Yeah, vacation rentals.
Yeah,
Airbnb,
vacation rentals.
all of that stuff.
Down in Florida, the beach, maybe,
Yeah,
Close
to the beach, but yeah.
Close to the beach.
We have a coaching program now that are teaching some new to real estate people how to get started in real estate without breaking the bank and losing your mind in the process.
Yeah. Easy to do. So what does your team look like today? Would you have a team of people working and helping you with these 50 rentals? What's that look like?
Yes, we have an operations manager, and then we have a full-time administrator that just manages rentals. The operations manager helps oversee rentals, property listings, and the projects that we have going on.
Jay is a licensed and bonded and insured general contractor, so we also have a construction crew that is about 10 people deep now, I think.
Yeah,
so
about
we
10.
can have.
Wow.
We're doing some flip projects. We're doing some maintenance on the rentals. Little bit of everything. So we are pretty much self-sufficient and in-house for most of our stuff now. So
Nice. I love that.
yeah,
That definitely, like you said, self-sufficient, keeping that in-house helps insulate you from all the craziness outside when you're trying to renovate flips and rental properties.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys have done a lot. I know you've done subject to and lease options and buying stuff, wholesaling, all of that, which comes with being in this industry. So, most people get started, and I hear a lot of time like, oh, I want a subject to, I want a lease option, I want to do all these things. But because they see people like you that have been in it for so long do that. Well, guys, as Jay just mentioned, like if you just get started, get that first cash flowing rental, and then as obstacles come, you find your way around it, and these solutions will start becoming necessary. And that's when you learn how to do subject to or lease option that we talked about. You don't have to go into this game knowing all the pieces and parts and knowing how to do everything.
Exactly.
You'll never know it all.
Yeah.
So
Because I'm thinking about the knowledge that y'all have after 20 years of experience. If you tried to start with that much knowledge, you would never get started.
Right.
Yeah. Impossible.
Now, it's a good point that you make, though, too, Andrew, because, we didn't start like we're going to wholesale, we're going to lease option, we're going to do all of the buzzwords that you hear about real estate now. It's strictly we're going to help the seller. We're going to help the person that needs our help. And then, the options of what we could do with that and the end game is what developed into our wholesaling side of things and our lease option side of things and our long-term and short-term rental side. So we have this big real estate business now, but that's not how we started. And our end game is always what can we do to help the seller out of the situation that they're in.
Yeah.
No matter what.
yeah.
I love it. Well, I love that. I love that's a good motto, and we'll start wrapping it up here. That's a good way to end it. So, like I said, this podcast has a lot of new investors, people getting started or trying to add something to their business using referrals as a deal finding method. So, for someone who's getting started, what would be your biggest tip? If you could think back that long, what would you have told yourself back then when you're getting started?
I would have told myself to call more people that I knew and tell them what I was doing so I could get more deals and have a system behind it. Call 10 or 20 people a day and limit your conversation to 3 to 5 minutes. Right? And look for leads that way, because that's an easy way to get started. And then I would also tell myself to make sure that I screened the tenants proper.
Oh, yeah. Screen the tenants.
So screening tenants properly, in a quick nutshell, is checking their income, checking their assets, checking where they've lived before, actually calling their previous 3 landlords if they have them, and making sure that they make enough money to pay for the property.
Yeah, perfect. I love that.
So we do 3 times the rent.
Yeah.
That's our personal in-house. Some people are more conservative and do 25%, but Annie and I do 33% of their gross income.
Yeah, I like 3 times as well. And Annie, do you have any advice as well?
Yeah, just talk about what you're trying to find. Talk about what you're doing. You may get a lot of pushback from family members, especially, like real estate is crazy.
Yeah.
Why are you investing in real estate these days?
Yeah.
But, education is key. So as much information and as much knowledge that you can grab about what you're just interested in general. You don't have to know everything, but, get a good base knowledge on what you want to do.
Yep.
And how you want to help people.
I love that. So how can people find you guys? Do you have a website or email? How can they reach out to you if they have questions or maybe in your local market?
Yeah. We're on Facebook,
Okay.
Jay and Annie Adkins. We also have a website, creativedealmakers.com. And we're on all social media platforms. You can Google us and we'll be there.
Awesome.
Hey everybody, it's Jay.
This is Annie.
We are so grateful for you joining us on our podcast and listening in and participating. We want to offer you this additional free bonus, and that is joining our Facebook group.
Yes, where we will have other individuals, not just us, but having conversations on all things real estate, and we would love to have you join us. So just click the link below and head on over and join our group.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the other side.